Hi everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of Stop Being Hateful. It is, August is about to wrap up. We're about to start fall. Summer's over. I'm Lori Fogg, and this is my beautiful co-host,
Adam McAvoy.
He looks very nice today. You guys can't see it, but he's wearing a nice button-up shirt, some very nice clean shoes. He looks great.
Thank you.
So today we're currently, just to let you guys know where we are in our Real Housewives journey, we're on season 7, episode 14. We just finished episode 13 when the ladies go to Vermont.
Mm-hmm. This is Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're still on the same old shit.
Same old shit.
You know.
We've never seen a current episode of any Bravo show.
Current episodes.
We only watch the old ones. But,
That's part of my education.
So we're going to talk a little bit about RHONJ and all the adventures of, Teresa and the gang. Because at this point, it really is just Teresa's show. But first and foremost, I want to talk about my favorite subject, Vanderpump Rules, and the news. I don't know if you saw
of this whole podcast.
Really, the way that I gauge
catalyst.
how our relationship is doing is how often we watch Vanderpump.
We're doing very bad then.
No, we watched it the other day. We put the pilot on for Tim. I count that as, us, watching it.
It's like us renewing our vows.
Yeah, it is like that. But, so I don't know if you've seen the news. Lala and Randall announced that they're trying to have a baby.
I did not see this news.
Which, I don't like whenever celebrities say they're trying for a baby, because that's a great and noble thing, but that really just means that you're just having a lot of unprotected sex. And I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
Especially with Rand.
Yeah,
My
good point. Yeah.
Me and my man are having unprotected sex every night.
I'm getting rawed by Randall. Randall raws me all the time.
She's gonna hear this.
Randall raws me right in the rear.
She's gonna see this and then she's gonna come after us, because I saw on Instagram that somebody had, tagged her in something, a meme or something.
I need to start making Lala memes. If only she was an interesting person, I'd be making more of them.
She's gonna really come out. I feel like she's gonna say something mean about the way we look if she hears
the way we look.
Yeah.
You might care. I don't give a shit.
I would be devastated if she said anything about my appearance.
Okay. Looks like.
But she loves to respond to that's the thing. I feel like if I'm a celebrity, if I get elevated to a place of celebrity, I don't care what people think of me.
I feel like you'd be an evil celebrity. You would very much be you would use your power for evil.
What would I do?
I don't know.
I would just play a lot of pranks. I think I'd be the Ellen of celebrities.
You'd be an Ellen. You'd be
an Ellen DeGeneres
running
type.
Gitmo in your basement.
Yeah.
And, doing fun stuff launching women into the air and.
Women I don't like.
Who was surprised? I was always who was surprised by Ellen being... I'm sorry for the sidetrack.
We're having a place of Ellen.
But who was surprised by this?
She was so mean to all... I remember watching when Sofia Vergara would come on her show. And
she just make fun of her.
Yeah, I'd be that's kind of disrespectful. She doesn't speak English as her first language. She speaks English really fluently.
Yeah.
She just has a strong accent. It's not like she's saying things unclearly.
No, she's just saying things with, the heavy R's.
Yeah, and I just remember being that's so mean. And then whenever Nicki Minaj was on, I was always, in 2011, mm-hmm. when, that was, she was really, really popular.
Mm-hmm. They're friends.
Yeah, but I just remember being that's not how you treat a friend. That's mean. When she dressed up as her for Halloween, I was A, this is weird because it's, one step away from blackface.
Yeah, but she's a lesbian.
She gets a pass?
Yeah.
Lesbians can do blackface. You heard it here first, folks. I'm kidding. Nobody can do blackface. Sorry. But I just remember being that's really mean. The things that she's doing. They're not, funny or,
I know, I thought they were funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm really not surprised she got canceled. At all.
I am.
She seems like a tyrant.
I am, and she doesn't seem like a tyrant to me.
Oh, well.
I was never... I don't know if I was fooled, I would say.
Fooled by her gifts.
By her gifts and her personality.
Her magic.
I always was she hates dancing. She was a nightclub comedian that got very popular. And then she has a talk show that also got very popular.
She hates dancing. She's forced to do it.
She had to hide the fact that she was in the closet for years and years and years. And imagine the shit that she had to put up with when she, again, was coming up in the 70s and 80s in the closet and 90s in the closet as a working woman, in a male, especially comedy in the 80s and 90s, male industry. And for her to now be people to be oh, I'm surprised she's not treating me like an equal. It's yeah, she's earned everything she has. She had to fight for everything she has.
Yeah.
And she's she used to be before her network thing was like very funny, very funny, very edgy, dark comedian.
See, that I feel like that's like what a lot of people don't know about her is like they just know her as like a talk show host. They don't know that she was a comedian, you know. And I feel like,
but I also was like you're saying like she's so mean. It's like when she did that thing to Mariah Carey with like the drinking, I thought that was hilarious.
I thought that was fucked up.
I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, it was funny, but like it's like ethically, it's a little fucked up.
Ethically.
To make a, could you?
So let's imagine that we have this show, right?
Yeah. And Mariah Carey's on the show.
Let's say we have Stassi on the show, right?
Yes.
And Stassi goes, "Hey, I don't want to talk about my allegations of being racist and you know,
yeah,
framing a former
framing
employee,
a false police report.
You know, I don't want to talk about that in the show." And we're like, okay, fine, we won't talk about that. Hey, Stassi,
and then we bring
drink
Fitz
this.
In the room.
Hey, Stassi, are you pregnant? And she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that either. But now we're on the show. We've already had the list of things we're not supposed to talk about. But now we're on our show, and she's telling us on the show she can neither confirm or deny.
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny. I think that's funny.
I mean, I don't know.
You know,
I just felt bad.
Mariah Carey, she went on a show. She went on a pop culture, a daytime talk show. That was it's all in the news. Is Mariah Carey pregnant?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's her job to do something. You know, she could have let it be an awkward interview where she just kept on asking and nothing happened. Yeah. Or she could have done something funny, like she didn't pull out champagne. It was like, oh, she's not drinking the beer.
I stand Mariah, so I guess that's why I'm kind of like, I'm always on her side.
Well, then Ellen had that Game of Games.
That did kind of convince me. I was like, oh, this woman is not. There's something in her that's been a mess.
You know, if someone's like, oh, well, she hasn't been a comedian since like the '90s. She doesn't like do stuff like that anymore. Her Game of Games
was pretty dark,
sadistic.
It was almost as if you were in hell for a brief hour.
Yeah, it was just like
watching the devil.
I don't know if it was a devil, but it was certainly like she was like some fourth dimensional being that just like derived joy from seeing other people's uncomfortability.
If you want this sedan, you are going to have to climb this 7-foot tall ladder and jump into a pile of shaving cream. If you want this 2020 sedan.
If you want this car, I will give you $2,000 if you get on top of a bridge and get launched from one side of the canyon to another.
Like, if you want tickets to the Grammys, you have to play Russian roulette.
You have to get on Evil Knievel. Exactly. Like,
and they were like, yeah.
And they're just like, ha ha ha.
Ellen, no.
Ellen, don't launch me 30 feet into a pit.
Ellen, stop.
Stop. Don't do it.
Speaking of Stassi, though, I want to talk about, she posted something on her Instagram story, which, like, I did actually really think this was really cute, and I just want to reiterate, I do not condone falsifying a police report.
We do not condone falsifying police reports.
That is, especially when you're trying to defend Jax Taylor. I feel like that should be a crime. That's
like the nail in the coffin. It's like, you can falsify a police report from time to time.
People make mistakes,
but on the benefit...
To benefit you... I don't even know how that would have absolved Jax of fucking her. Like, it's like, yeah, well, he did cheat on her,
but at least she's a thief.
But she's a criminal. It's like, okay, like, what?
He fucked a criminal. She got what she deserved.
Doesn't that make Jax look even worse? It's like, oh, because not
Jax
only
Jax is like a medieval like punishment. Oh, you stole. Time to fuck Jax Taylor. Like,
she's already like, yeah. I just don't get like how that when Faith said that they falsified a police report against her, I was like, why did it make her look bad to absolve Jax? Like, what the fuck? Like,
but it's like, you know.
And that really was Kristen.
But her having a baby, yeah, it was. But it was. Let's be honest, we all know that was Kristen.
It sounds like it's very Dodie-esque to be.
Like, she may have been like, you know, witches of Weehaw, like, you know, cutting her wrists and like giving some blood for the ritual or whatever, you know, performing a spell. But like, did she start the spell?
She stole a lock
did she
of
start
Jax's
the coven?
hair to make her fall in love with him, because she does love him. But
like just like with Randall and Lala having a baby, it's just like with her having a baby, it's like I don't feel bad, like. No, they don't have a baby yet, but, like, I don't feel bad for Stassi, you know, that she's done this shit and that now she has, like, you know, she doesn't have her, like, income anymore. But I feel bad for this child. That's just, like, her mom. Oh, this poor child. Like, it's coming into the world and her mom's just, like, Bo fucked up.
Why? Because he didn't wear a rubber?
Well, he was like, I'm gonna hitch. He's like, there's three Vanderpump girls that aren't engaged. Let me hitch my wagon to the one that's least crazy. And then he's like, oh shit, I forgot she's from Louisiana. I
forgot she's from Louisiana. None of them are from LA, which I feel like is like a huge
indicative
factor.
Of LA.
It's indicative of LA, but it's also
How about
plays a
Vanderpump?
huge...
She's from England.
The main
Lisa's
character,
straight up
the
not
real
from...
housewife isn't even from Beverly Hills.
She's
from
like straight up
England.
from a different country.
But she posted something on...
At least the Giudices were naturalized.
She, sorry, I just played with a box cutter if you heard that. But, she posted something on Instagram that was, like, her, like Beau was, like, sleeping and his hand was on her stomach and, like, he was asleep. And I just thought that was so cute. I don't know.
Absolutely.
There's, like, something about, like, being pregnant that, like, I'm like, you can't be mad at somebody that's pregnant. Like...
But she was real into the, I'm the working woman, I'm the go-getter, I'm the breadwinner of this relationship. And now it's like, oh, she has no bread.
There's no bread to be had.
And Beau is not a baker.
There's no bread to be had and Beau is not a baker. But I feel like her parent, like her dad definitely was not going to let her go without, you know, and her grandma did just die, so I don't know, maybe she got inheritance or something. It's not going to leave her too far in the lurch. We talked about this last time on the pod. It's like, and I don't know. I think about it once or twice a day, you know, and I don't know how they're going to be able to recover this, because season 4, when Stassi wasn't there, was kind of about, like, Kristen going on her apology tour, and then season 5, when Schwartz and Katie got married, that was kind of about Stassi's apology tour. So it's like you have these two key players
that even when they're not, like, in the show anymore, they're still integral.
The shadow is still there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even know what it's gonna... Like, I just know one thing in my heart. I can't watch Jax and Brittany be married. Like, I can't.
Not even in a tom-tom.
No, I truly have grown, like, this time apart, this time to think from Vanderpump has really made me just think that, like, I truly think that their relationship, and even, you haven't seen this season, like, season 8. I think they're terrible people. Like, there's nothing in my heart that, like, makes me, there's nothing redeemable. Like, even Katie and Schwartz, it's kind of funny when they argue, because I just think it's funny when Schwartz is like, that's why I don't have sex with you, because you're disgusting. It's like, that's kind of funny. It's like a little...
That's kind of funny, but it's also kind of like, that's sad.
It's sad, but it's like, you know, it's not my relationship.
I mean, out of all the characters, like, I like Tom Schwartz. Like, as a person, I like, out of all the people, like, you could see yourself hanging out with Tom Schwartz.
I would hang out with Tom Sandoval.
Tom, why?
I just feel like he's nice.
Yeah, that's not gonna be fun, though.
Yeah, I feel like it will be fun, though.
Why? Because he's gonna do your hair and, like...
Yeah, we can do our hair and our
bring
makeup.
a matching outfit.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you bring, he has three separate outfits
yeah,
that match.
he'd make me a cocktail.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty fun. But I don't know. I don't know what the show's gonna... I feel like with, like, Bravo firing Dorinda, like, for her drunken, mean behavior, I feel
They're
like...
setting a precedent.
They're really saying, like, we're not gonna allow, like, this network to be, like... Trashy. And it's like...
That's why we watch.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know necessarily if I want to watch a show where all of these people are, like, morally, like,
And we, like, the whole idea of Vanderpump was, like, these are people who are not rich and famous, they're servers at a restaurant, you know, like, they're trying to get ahead, and you're gonna see what they do, you know, to be like, we have all these, like, you know, rich people, and
they've arrived. It's like, I don't want to watch people arriving at the precipice of fame. I want to watch people arguing because somebody didn't bust their tables.
Yeah. Like,
low stakes shit. Like,
yeah.
There's something about, like...
high energy, low stakes.
Yeah, there's something about, like, seeing a married couple, like, fight that's, like, unpleasant to me.
Too close to
it's,
home.
like, sad. It's, like, I don't know, like, watching Jax and Brittany, like, fight and, like, the way Jax treats her is, like, this is just sad to me.
It's
like,
gonna be way sadder watching them fight with, like, a kid in the foreground.
I mean,
like,
I wonder why they haven't had a kid yet. Some people have speculated that Brittany has, like, fertility issues, or
I
Jax
bet Jax has fertility
Jax,
issues.
I feel like there's no way you do all that coke and your sperm isn't, like,
Jax got, like,
liquid
Jax
tar.
is such a bro. He, like, there's certain guys where you're like, oh, they definitely, like, nut tap each other, and, like, I feel like he gets nut tapped a lot.
What is nut tapping?
What does it sound like?
When you tap each other's balls?
Yeah. There's, like, certain groups of guys that do that.
They do always have their butts on each other.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're very touchy, fratty bros. You
Yeah,
know?
like when they were, like, I forget where they were, but they were, like, all mooning, like, in the big window.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a thing, trust me.
That's disgusting.
You know,
but,
I feel like he probably, like, doesn't have balls anymore, like, just slapped off of
He
him.
actually has a pair of truck nuts that he has attached
He just is attached
to his balls.
They're so tiny and vestigial that he has prosthetic
nuts.
just taped to his taint.
Oh wow.
That was too much.
Can we say taint on the network?
Speaking of that, I mean, we were gonna say the "see you next Tuesday" word.
Oh yeah, so Teresa,
Switching back to
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
what we're our main shit.
We just wanted to update you all on our thoughts and feelings about the Vanderpump-verse.
Because it's been all over the Bravo-verse.
Yeah, and because they are people and they do always do things, and those things are always...
Question. Oh wait, no, I know the answer. Never mind. It's Andy Cohen. I was gonna say who's the like puppet master, who's like Jesus of the Bravo-verse, and I was like, oh, Andy Cohen.
But he said he doesn't. I really don't feel like he has that much power.
I'm not saying he has that much power. I'm just saying if like there was like a dark hooded figure looking over all these people's lives, it's Andy Cohen.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like he definitely like if you watched like the Marvel movies and the first like 8 of them, there was like that dude who was like Thanos' like best friend who was like always talking to the bad guys, but you never saw Thanos. You only saw his like whoever's like the CEO of Bravo. Andy Cohen's his like speaker dude, his like hooded figure. That's
yeah,
his messenger.
Yeah.
This is off topic.
Yeah, I've never seen a Marvel movie. I don't know what
that's not true. She's lying. She's trying to make herself look cooler.
I've only ever seen 3.
You've seen 3?
I think I've seen 4. Because we
3
tried to watch the
that's 3
Avengers
more
one
than
together.
I've never seen a Marvel movie. I've seen 1.
Adam's lying.
I've seen
That's not true.
I've seen part of the Hulk.
That's not true. The Hulk doesn't even have his own movie.
The Hulk has 2 of his own movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, from like 2003.
Okay.
But so we're on season 7, episode
13.
We're really doing the damn thing. The ladies are in Vermont. They're having a field trip of sorts to get Teresa out and let her relax before Joe goes away. And it just really went off the rails. It couldn't be worse for them. 2 of Teresa's friends come with them, not the main cast. They're just like, friends of, I forget the name of the other one, but one of them's name is Robin, and she really causes a lot of problems for Jacqueline. And Jacqueline really causes a lot of problems for her.
Well, no, Jacqueline just causes a lot of problems.
So they're like in Vermont, and it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like this isn't really if I was on the trip, it's not really about me. I'm there to kind of like support my friend who's like going through a horrible time, and like, and knowing what comes only makes it all the sadder for like, the viewer now. But Jacqueline just like, I think she is low-key kind of obsessed with Teresa and like needs to have that, like wants things so badly to go back to the way that they were before.
I feel like, she's her anger, her whatever it is coming from a place that she's upset that she's lost her best friend, which is undeniably true. They went from talking every day to not talking at all, and like getting these giant fights. But at the same time, and like I can understand Jacqueline being like, you're not being the friend for me that I want. But at the same time, Teresa's setting boundaries. You can't blame. I can't blame either of them for like why the argument started. Teresa setting boundaries. She doesn't want to talk about certain things, and then Jacqueline being like, "Well, I need you to talk to me about certain things." I don't know who's in the wrong for how the argument started, but where we are, season 7, episode 13.
Jacqueline's definitely in the wrong.
Jacqueline is
100% in the wrong.
She is crazy.
I feel like I don't know how Chris is just like sitting there like while she's like raging. I would hope to God if I was going like that, you'd be like, okay, get up, like we're not doing
I mean, I let you go for like 10-20 minutes at a time, and then I stop you.
Yeah, I would never get up and then be like, you're a criminal.
Yeah,
I would hope that you'd like be like, sit down. Like,
yeah, all I know is like, like she's definitely dealing with her son, her issues with her son. She must be feeling isolated from her friends. She has to spend so much more time than she ever had to do with her other children. With her son, what's his name, Nick, her artistic son. And she doesn't feel like she's getting a lot of like help or support from her friends. And like I think that's why she's acting like this. Not condoning, not I think that's where the anger is stemming from, because she was never angry.
Just isolation
at Danielle Staub.
Yeah.
Like she said some crazy shit. She was like getting court records.
Pistol. I read your court record. How do you even get those?
You pay $20 and you request them.
That's nuts. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that you do that. Like that
you go through all of that to do it. Sometimes you need it, like depending on the state, you need a private investigator's license or an attorney's license or like be a cop.
I don't know if. Well, she probably knows a lot of cops.
Well, that's the thing. If she's in New Jersey, New Jersey's one of those states where like they have like stupid laws.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I feel like if you know somebody, though, it wouldn't be that hard to get them.
No. And the only reason I know this is because I just listened to a book with, like, a guy who, like, an investigative journalist was, like, using someone's PI license to, request things.
The Manson book, right?
Yeah,
right.
Chaos by Tom O'Neill.
But, yeah, I just feel like I definitely have been in positions before where I've lost a friend or like, something has happened in our relationship that's, like, changed the dynamics, like, drastically.
Yeah.
And you always want things to go back to the way that they were, but it's like, once something happens or once something is done, like, you can't go back, and you just have to accept, like, this is our new relationship, this is our new normal. You know? And, like, if you can't, then I just feel like it's better just not be in each other's lives in any capacity.
Yeah.
Like, that's the vibe I get from Jacqueline, is, like, she just wants things to go back to the normal, but she's not...
And you can't also force the other person to do what you want them to do. You know, you can't just, like, berate someone into... So, they're in Vermont at a trip that's supposed to be for Teresa and Joe. Joe wasn't able to come. So, Teresa's really only doing this for footage.
Yeah, it is very much like this season's kind of interesting because they're not allowed to go out of the country,
yeah,
or even really
state.
out of, like, the New England area,
yeah,
for parole purposes. But so Teresa's friends, I think, who organized? Melissa organized.
I want to also say that Teresa has turned down other things. She's turned down going to stuff. Not because of people going there, not because of Jacqueline, but because she's like, oh, I want to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
Like, she's turned down going to things because of that. So it's, you know, so when it's like, oh, all the girls from the show are going, I'm just like, okay, this is for the show. She doesn't actually, like, want to do this. Because she said no to the posh fashion show.
Yeah.
You know?
Which was very lackluster this year. There wasn't...
Oh, yeah.
I was
a little
disappointed.
It was like in a restaurant. Though you guys ever remember, they're in the first session when this is happening.
Are they really?
Yeah. Isn't it? Isn't this like 2013? 2012?
No, this is like 2015, 2016.
Oh god, no, I don't know why. And maybe Envy just took a hit like that. I don't even know.
Maybe just nobody wants to shop at a fucking store called Envy.
Or Posh. Wait, that's Melissa. Envy's Melissa.
Envy's Melissa.
We're
Envy by
Posh.
Melissa G. Like,
I would rather shop at Envy than Posh.
I feel like sometimes I go on Envy by Melissa G's website and, like, scroll through things because I'm...
Is it still up?
Yeah, you can go there. This is a housewife thing. Like, housewives will open up stores. Like, this isn't just Melissa Gorga. Like, this isn't...
Well, that's why I know housewives do that. Oh, I know housewives do that. But I thought this was a Melissa Gorga production, which would mean it's over after the season's over.
No. It's still open. This is this is kind of her storyline throughout the whole show. Because I know in later seasons, Joe is like, I'm sorry, like, you've really grown the business. Like, I was wrong for not supporting you fully in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I just think of that store that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards had. It's like Kyle and Eileen 2 or something, and it just closed. Then she opened up another store. That's, like, a thing. It's such a weird, like, watching a lot of Housewives things, you kind of get a feel for, like, the way that it's structured. It's like, oh, this woman's going to open up a store. She's going to have a fashion show. That's going to be a major plot point or, like, a jumping off point for the storyline.
Well, as soon as the season started and Melissa was like, I'm opening up Envy, I was just like, oh my god, they're just doing this so they don't have to go to Posh anymore. Like, I was literally like, so now we have 2 fashion shows? I was pissed.
We can see the Posh fashion show just, like relegated into obscurity.
I know, it was in, like, a banquet hall. It wasn't even in the brownstone. It wasn't even in the brownstone.
Yeah. But,
what's her name? Caroline just like, no way. I will not have that skeleton in here ever again.
What was that voice? Was that Christopher
That's my Caroline.
Walken?
Yo, shut up. I'm going to write something stupid on you.
She sounds like... I repeat. No, I always sound like John Travolta when I do it.
Yeah, I know. What are you talking about? You saying I sound like Christopher Walken?
A little bit.
That's so mean.
But, so Jacqueline, this girl that Teresa has brought along on the trip, who is her friend, like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline's like, she's one of Teresa's soldiers. She is just a yes man for Teresa. Teresa doesn't need to surround herself with people like that. It's like, Jacqueline, whose call is that? Like, literally, like, why are you saying, like, this person is a soldier? Like, that's incredibly demeaning to Robin. It demeans Teresa and her relationship. And it's just, like, honestly, if somebody said that, I would say I want to rage on your ass, too.
I also feel bad because it's like, you know, just Robin, she didn't get her own confessional. You know?
Never hear from her.
So, and, like, I heard 3 different people say different things. I heard Siggy say they'd been friends for a year. I heard Jacqueline said they'd been friends for 6 months. I heard Melissa say they'd been friends for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So, like...
And Teresa said that they've been hanging out consistently for the past year.
And so it's like, I don't, I don't know where we don't know as a viewer where their relationship is. We're even getting conflicted, where I'm talking about Melissa and Robin, or Teresa and Robin. We don't even know, we're not getting very much information about this person. So it's just like... we couldn't make a judgment on that. We have to just go with what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just with what we're seeing, Jacqueline's being crazy.
Jacqueline is being absolutely unreasonable. Because it's like, even if they haven't known each other for like 15, 20 years, like...
Well, I'm just saying, it shows that it just shows that, like, oh, this isn't about being on the show. This isn't about, she's not coming on the show to get something from Robin. She's not coming on the show to get something from Teresa. She's just one of Teresa's friends that happened to take the opportunity to be on the show for once.
Yeah, and to like be like, because Melissa organized the trip, so Melissa must have invited them.
And we've seen Melissa's friends at like fashion shows. We've seen Teresa's friends at fashion shows. Like we've seen Jacqueline's friends.
They have other friends outside of the show. It's totally fine. It's not a big.
The fact that Siggy and Dolores, who Dolores is friends with Jacqueline and friends with
Dolores
Teresa.
is a longtime family friend of the Manzos, Jacqueline and Teresa.
Yeah, she's known Teresa since high school.
Yeah, so it's like it's okay to have other I don't know. It just bothered me so much when Jacqueline was like, "You're one of Teresa's soldiers." It's like, okay, but if you've been hanging out with somebody every day for a year. That's like, or not every day, but like consistently, like calling them, texting them, like talking to them, like that's a long time in like an adult relationship. I feel like you must be close in some capacity.
No, I feel bad for Jacqueline does feel bad that her 15-year friendship is like not worth the same, but it's like
you're in a different place.
Yeah, and you've also done a lot over the last 2 years to strain that relationship.
It's not like when Teresa's like our friendship was over that day on the porch. It's like. You did that. Like, you chose to violate that boundary because you wanted her to open up to you more, but that's not your place. And if somebody doesn't feel comfortable opening up to you, it's just, like, some things just, you don't need to know everything about your friend. There's always different, like, especially about legal matters, which maybe she doesn't even herself understand.
Which it's like, yeah, especially when, like, her husband got her into it, her husband was dealing with it. It's like...
Like, she might not even have a full understanding of the situation.
Exactly.
Which is why it was just kind of like... Who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing? But I want to pivot a little bit and talk about the husbands and how that is just so foreign to me. Like, as a girl, like, you never, like, literally you would never.
Well, as a girl, you see, let's just compare Joe and Chris to Teresa and Jacqueline. Joe is having his going away party. He goes, "Hey, I know. What you keep looking at my hair?"
Lot.
Yeah, you are. I see. I'm watching your eyes. Is it that bad?
No, it's not.
You keep talking.
Adam's gonna go brush his hair. I just feel like it's so odd that you have like two men who are just like, oh, they're like friends and they don't like internalize arguments. Like, I've never seen Joe or Chris actually get into it unless it was like about their wives, but I also feel like it's not really like cool for men to like argue like women. Not that women argue in a certain way, but I feel like they're so easy to move past things. They never bring anything up like in the past. And Joe even invited Jacqueline and his family to the going away party knowing what Teresa has going on with her, which I thought was so, not weird, but it's like women don't do that. Like, if I was fighting with a girl and I had a party, I wouldn't invite her because I want her to know, like, that we're, like, not cool, that we don't fuck with each other like that anymore. Mm-hmm. You know? I was just talking about, like, how I feel like it's so weird to see, like, these men interact so calmly and coolly. And, but...
I mean, it just kind of shows, the difference.
Yeah. It just does show a huge difference in the way, the women and the
just
men
the way
interact.
Just the way they operate, yeah.
And then, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So, I don't know. It was just so odd to me. Like, not odd, but, like, I don't know. It's like you just don't... I've never seen women do that before.
Yeah. And
I think it's sweet. I think their friendship is really sweet.
But at the same time, this was after the Vermont trip's dinner. So the Vermont trip, Jacqueline and who was it?
Jacqueline
and Robin. Hold on. Jacqueline and Robin get into it. Robin ends up leaving because all the Siggy and Dolores are saying, we can't have...
She escalated it. We can't have her
She
here.
says she tried to make it violent. It's like, she said that after Jacqueline literally put her butt in her face and sat on her.
I feel like that, like, I honestly feel like Jacqueline was being such a little bitch when she's like, no, I'm gonna leave. It's like, yeah, you should leave.
It's like, you instigated this whole thing.
Yeah, it's like you're not being fun. Like, who is having fun with you here? Like...
Yeah. It's like, I think Robin said, like, I'm gonna rage on your ass.
She said, you calling me Teresa's soldier makes me want to fucking rage on your ass.
But that's not a threat.
It's not a threat.
She then sits on Robin, and Robin threatened her to hit her if she did it again.
Which is like, I would hit somebody.
I would hit...
She never...
You wouldn't sit on me before I hit you. You'd get hit before...
If I see you getting up, it's on sight.
Well, no.
You'd
go to sit down on me, and your butt wouldn't touch me. You'd be pushed face first. You know,
yeah,
like...
and there's a fire right when they're talking. I was like, this would not end well.
I know. Like,
stop
honestly,
you right in the fire.
It's not. Yeah.
But so after that, Jacqueline then spends the whole day with Chris. Not even with the other girls, which is like...
She doesn't get up the next morning.
Such a bitch move.
Everyone else goes skiing.
It's such a bitch move, because it's like...
And they all get back from skiing. Sorry, yeah.
It's like, I just remember, like, when, like, I was a little girl and I would have sleepovers, and, like, one of the girls would get her feelings hurt, like, you know, not because we were doing anything mean, but just because she was, like, really sensitive or something, and then she wouldn't get up, or she wouldn't do something with the rest of us, or, like, on the DC field trip when one of the girls would, like, get upset about something, she wouldn't do whatever the rest of us were doing. It's such a bitch thing to do. It's like, are you serious? Like... You
knew this is what we were going, like, you came to this trip expecting to do X, Y, Z. I know C happened. I know you didn't. I know you weren't expecting to get in an argument with some of the girls, but you're gonna let that ruin the whole reason you came.
Yeah, it's like you're like if we're all agreeing to be cool and you're like not agreeing to be cool, it's like what, like, why are you here then? Like, you're not agreeing to the contract of like friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is always like such. I don't fuck with that. I think that's so annoying. But so then, at the dinner. So they have dinner after Robin leaves, which is, like, also, how bad of a friend is she if she's like, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation for your... Like, if Robin was truly a bad friend, she would have just made things 10 times worse. Yeah, and instead she chose to remove herself.
And that's what Jacqueline did.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, like you said, if Robin was a bad friend, she would, she would have stayed and started more arguments.
Yeah, and instead,
which is what Jacqueline did.
Yeah, instead Robin was like, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing more of Robin. I thought she was...
Because, so they go to dinner... And Chris goes to Jacqueline, hey, she's gonna want to talk to you about this. Let's wait till after dinner. And Joe Giudice or Gorga says that to Melissa and Teresa.
Yeah.
Right?
Joe Gorga.
Yeah. So he says that to Melissa and Teresa on the way over. They took separate cars. They get there, and first thing Teresa says is, I wish everyone could be here.
Which is... It's not a dig. It's just like, yeah, if I had two of my friends had to leave because this girl who I'm not even that close with anymore was fucking my shit up, I'd be like, yeah, I wish everybody could be here. Like,
yeah. And Jacqueline was just like, Jacqueline, I'm not saying that she's not getting attacked, because that's what Chris said. Like, she attacked you as soon as you came in. Not saying that's not an attack, not saying that is an attack. Chris goes, she attacked you as soon as you came in, and you went off. And that's exactly what happened, because as soon as Teresa said that, the whole dinner was over. Like, there was no eating. There's no ordering. There's no, like, it was just...
What was I loved when, this is a side note, but I loved when she and Joe met with, Kathy and Rosie, and she just went, we're not going to be eating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought that was so funny. Like, could you imagine?
Well, she just said, I'm not going to be eating. And then, yeah, it's crazy to think that, like, you went into this thing where it's supposed to be, like... We're trying to make... we want to...
You didn't even get an appetizer.
It's like, we want to mend.
The way Teresa orders, too, in another scene when they were... I think it was, like, after the Vermont trip when she got lunch with Siggy and Dolores. And who was the other person? Melissa. They all got, like, sushi. And the way she ordered, like, 15 appetizers, and Melissa was like, this is how her and Joe order. It's like... That's insane.
That's awesome. They got kids. I've always, like, gone out with, like, a family and, like, brothers. And it's like, order water. We can't just share one appetizer if we even
get an appetizer.
No dessert. But then, like, going out with, like, friends and stuff, it's like, yeah, we'll take 4 appetizers and we'll take, dessert and we'll take.
She was ordering the thing she was ordering sounded so fucking good too.
Who else does that? One who else does that is Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer will go like, oh, we're going to get pizza. Everyone get a pizza, and then like Everyone
love
get
that.
their own pizza.
Fuck
Everyone get their own bottle of wine.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Do you remember when we got
That sounds
Hawaiian
nice.
pizza with your parents? It was so
yeah.
good. And you were like, you're getting it just because she said she likes it?
I was just like, you guys are crazy.
Hawaiian
Don't get
pizza's
this
so
girl
good.
anything she wants.
So, just get her
She
the
doesn't know-
opposite.
She doesn't know what she likes.
Like, I hate hamburger on pizza. Like, get a pizza that's covered in hamburger.
But that brought us to the see you next Tuesday. So she goes.
So Jacqueline is, sorry,
But so Jacqueline calls her
criminal.
the C word, And when she goes home and tells her husband about this, and she goes, she called me the C word and not the see you next Tuesday word.
I thought that was so funny.
Oh my god, both of us were dying.
Like, yeah, well, Teresa, technically, in the eyes of the law,
You are.
you are a criminal. Like, I'm not saying, it's kind of an objective term.
Yeah.
But I just thought
Look,
that
I don't
was
think you're going around
fucking
mugging.
criminal.
I don't think you're going around mugging people. Or you're wearing a trench coat or anything
She
like that.
also, Jacqueline looks terrible this entire trip. She just looks absolutely fucking wrecked.
She really looks like she really looks like a wine mom.
She looks terrible. I love when she, like, and she's going off in this dinner on everybody. She's like, Melissa, you're a phony bitch. Like, I just can't with everything that's like, she really is just, like, there's something in her brain that is truly, like, snapped. And, like, she is not being, like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe. Like, she's almost as if she's Daniel Staub right now.
And
Like, with the way she's going about things.
It
Is
goes
like,
back to what you were saying about, like, the difference between, like, men and women. Because, like, when Joe Gorga and Chris Loretta got there, like, Chris pinched
Right.
Joe's nipple. And then was like, oh, I saw you on the skis. They weren't doing that well. Like, just, like, starts busting his balls. And then, but what does his wife do? His wife starts... Jacqueline was just screaming at Melissa.
Literally, and Melissa is like, can I finish? Can I talk? Like, you're not letting me finish my sentence. Like,
I'm not a Melissa fan. She was laying into Melissa
and
for
like,
no
for
reason.
what? Like,
Yeah,
they've
for no
always
reason.
been friends. Like,
Yeah, it's Melissa's like being friendly with like your I don't know. It's all crazy.
Melissa's always been nice to you. Like, she's never done anything like...
Melissa really hasn't done anything to anyone other than Teresa, and that's mostly retaliatory.
Yeah, I would say Melissa doesn't seem to be the type of person to, like, go out of her way to make somebody's life. Like, even when she met with Siggy, she was like, I understand what you're saying. Like, you have to pick loyalties. Like, I'm not gonna take it personally.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And let's talk about Siggy for a second.
Siggy was...
She looked like she had been through war.
Is she? I'm going to start doing some Googling because, like, everyone keeps calling her a relationship expert, and I don't... Is she, like, a guidance counselor? Like,
No,
what does she
I don't
do?
think she does anything.
I
I think she just is very intuitive and emotional.
But I don't think she is. Well, she definitely is, but, like...
It says American television personality. She's clearly not.
Uh-huh.
Oh, author of Write Your Own Fairy Tale, The New Rules for... Oh, she is a relationship
But that's... when did that come out? Like, did that come out...
In 2015.
See, that came out while the show was on. She didn't...
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out if she's, like, a guidance counselor. No,
Author. Matchmaker. Relationship specialist. So she is a relationship specialist.
But you don't just get to be a relationship specialist. Like,
she supported herself as a waitress at TGI Fridays. She's a bachelor's...
there we go. She's a waitress.
No,
that's what I'm looking for.
she has a bachelor's in communication.
Okay. Well, see, this is what I'm looking for.
She's been a matchmaker for more than 20 years.
Again, Lord, what does that mean?
It means...
I've been a matchmaker for 5 years right now. I hooked up... I helped Tim get a date in high school. Does that make me a matchmaker?
No, I think it's like...
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, Lori, what jobs and degrees she's held. I was looking for her communications degree. I'm not looking for Wikipedia just to say she's been a matchmaker for 20 years.
I don't know, Google what a matchmaker does. I couldn't
Lori,
tell
a matchmaker sets people up on dates.
But do you get paid? Does she get paid for that?
If you do it, if you have a job somewhere, which it doesn't say she does, which is what I'm trying to find out.
Flickr openly supported the Republican Party and Donald Trump in the 2016 and 2020 elections.
So she's not a good matchmaker.
She's not a good matchmaker.
So this is what I'm talking about. Where are her credentials?
Oh my god. She does not strike me as the type of person that would... That's weird.
So she hasn't... So here we go. She had a Vice column in 2013. Which, see, like, that... She's a writer. See, like, right there. Why Am I Single? Flickr starred in reality television, Why Am I Single, on VH1. So she had her own television show about dating. See, this is what I'm looking for.
This is the meat of the story.
This is what I'm looking for. You can't just read this stuff and then just, she's a 20-year matchmaker. That doesn't mean anything. She matched up her her husband and his new wife. She matched up a failed relationship with someone else that she. You see what I mean? Like, her relationship failed. Like,
I can't believe she's a Republican.
She might not be. She might just not have liked.
She openly supported the Republican Party and their candidate this year too.
In 2016, yeah.
In 2020.
Well, she might not like
Biden,
or she might not like Harris or Clinton. Who knows? She might hate women. Most women, as my girlfriend tells me, hate women. That's a Lori.
That is a hot take. I not like. Yeah, and not even on a conscious level. I think like.
Oh, here we go. We completely forgot. The main thing with Siggy is she's Jewish. And Donald Trump has supported the Israeli state more than any president has ever.
That's so crazy. Maybe that is why she loves him.
That might be. Like, if she's like a one-issue party that's like, I love the Jews. Like,
she's Jewish, so that would make sense that she loves them.
There's a lot of self-hating Jews. Why are you making that face?
We'll strike that from the record.
Why? You know what? I can name 3 right now.
There are people that you know personally?
No, well, famous public figures: Ari Shaffir, Judd Apatow, Bernie Sanders.
Judd Apatow's Jewish?
Judd Apatow.
Is he really? We don't need to. I believe you.
If I'm wrong, I will be surprised.
Maybe he is. I don't know. Jewish.
Well, nothing's coming up, so I might be wrong. Maybe he just hates the Jews.
His family is Jewish, but not religious.
Yeah, see?
Culturally Jewish. Okay. Weird.
See? I know these things, Loris.
That's so weird.
But she goes, so Siggy, though, goes, she gets upset at the dinner argument between Jacqueline and Teresa.
And she's not just upset, she's distraught.
She talks to Dolores for 4 hours. They have a 4-hour time lapse of her talking after it.
It really is a soliloquy.
Wake up, they get up the next morning, have another 2 hours conversation about what happened the night before, and it's only interrupted by Teresa and Melissa coming in to, like, what they were supposed to be doing was getting them for the day.
Yeah.
The only thing that from when they left the restaurant to when they went to bed
to when they woke up and then when they had breakfast.
All was talking about Jacqueline and Teresa's relationship.
Well, because Jacqueline and Siggy are close, and it must be hard to see your friend like that hurt, you know. But she at one point
but that hurt. It's like, I can't see what Teresa did to Jacqueline on the Vermont trip.
She didn't do anything.
Exactly. So it's like, to see your friend that hurt, your friend literally hurt herself. Like, I don't know how else you could describe like what Jacqueline did other than like
she really
self-harm.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, it was just self-harm.
Yeah, and it kind of does make me feel like whenever we see Jacqueline in these things, I'm like, oh, this kind of gives me insight into how Ashley is. And like maybe Ashley hasn't always been in the right, but maybe her mom hasn't been the most.
But at the same time, I was gonna say her dad, but she does have a good role model with Chris.
She's Chris, but like, you know,
and her dad, her father's also a good role model.
But that's your mom, like, as a girl. It's
Absolutely.
like, so to see your mom kind of like fly off the handle, like she punch Caroline,
and Jacqueline did start doing better. Or Ashley started doing better when she kind of left the house.
Yeah. I don't know under what circumstances she physically assaulted Caroline Manzo, but I imagine that's not the best thing to watch your mom do.
All I want, the thing with Siggy, that she kept on saying she's impartial. I got annoyed when she then said, I'm not going to go to Melissa's fashion show.
And Melissa was like, I get you have loyalty, just say you have a loyalty.
But she's like, I'm not doing it. But then Melissa goes, I'm not going to Posh fashion show, I'm not going to Envy, I just can't pick sides. And she goes, are you going to go to Jacqueline's autism event tomorrow?
The popcorn event.
And she went, yes. So it's like, well, you are picking sides, because it's not a side between Melissa and Teresa. It's not a side between Posh and Envy. The only one who brought that up was Jacqueline. Jacqueline was bringing all that stuff up.
I hope Chris gets to walk in the show. I'm really excited to see that. But yeah, it was just so frustrating because it's like Melissa was like, "Well, what have I ever done to you? Like, what?" Yeah,
Melissa and Jacqueline was just sitting there calling Melissa a two-faced,
like,
phony. It's just like,
excuse me.
It's just like, what? Like, it doesn't.
It's like that doesn't. It's not even. What has she ever done to you? Like, literally.
She introduced you to her cousins, who have now become like some of your best friends, the Wakilis. Like, the Wakilis and the Laritas hang out more than the Wakilis and the Gorgas. You know, the Gorgas and the Giudices do with the Wakilis.
Yeah, the only people from Real Housewives that were in attendance at Victoria Wakili's wedding shower was Caroline Manzo and their family.
That's kind of sad.
That is really sad. But
Why not Melissa and Joe?
Don't speak.
That's sad. That's so sad.
It is pretty sad.
It's like I understand, like, you know, like Teresa's father is the same as Joe's father, but like I feel bad for Kathy. I don't think Kathy's ever said anything that's been like so out there that her family should be exorcised from the Gorgas.
I just think it's like they just don't like her.
I know.
And that's like fine, but like
no, it's not.
I don't have any cousins. I don't really understand
mean.
this dynamic. I'm like,
It's not even a cousin. I just think it's mean. Why is it? I just think it's a mean thing. It's like I don't think she's done anything.
No, I don't think she has either. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. And we're gonna wrap now. We've had a really great talk. I feel like we've talked about a lot of important things, a lot of things the public needs to hear, a lot of things that are important to us.
We do need to start. But we consumed a little bit of other pop culture this week, and it just wasn't. Lori was not. We watched the interview, and she fell asleep. So she's not a big fan of Seth Rogen.
I am a big fan of Seth Rogen. I hate James Franco.
She just hates James Franco, which I think she's crazy. I think James.
I
Franco's
love
cool.
Knocked Up.
All right, and with that, I'm Adam McAvoy.
And I'm Lori Fogg. And no, I don't think all women hate each other.